final question.
Yep, it's time to take off your jacket.
I have to put on one first. I think I'll just not bother. It's okay.
It's just quite a difficult question, wasn't it? Was the point I was trying to make.
Oh, I see. All right.
Silly jacket. So, question 7.
Yeah, and it's not that many marks. Only 8 marks, but they are quite hard to get.
Yes, and it typically ends on a question like this with random letter K's to terrify everyone.
Yeah, if you remember our quadratic bit in our series, they do love the letter K. You talk about discriminants, so look out for that in a bit. But until then, we have the curve C, which has the equation y equals x squared plus 7, and the line L, which has the equation y equals k lots of 3x plus 1. X, yeah, plus 1. Cool. So, part A is show that any points of intersection equal x squared minus 3kx plus 7 minus k.
So,
Which we're going to do that.
points of intersection is when they're equal to each other, you can equate them. So if y equals that and this y equals that, and we're saying they intersect, the y's must be the same.
So, then you can just put this in place of that one's y.
Yep.
So k lots of 3x plus 1 will equal x squared plus 7.
Yep.
Then the best thing here would be to expand your brackets. So you'd have 3kx plus k will equal x squared plus 7.
Then you take it all over to one side.
Yeah.
I'll take it over here. You want a positive x squared.
I think that's always best. So you'd have x squared minus 3kx plus k, no, minus k, sorry, plus 7. And is that what they got?
Plus 7 minus k.
Oh, they were in that order, but yes it is. So
and that's part A.
that's showing that. You just have to understand what they're really asking you to do, and then it's quite straightforward. The curve C and line L intersect in 2 distinct points. And this is where the discriminant comes up. If it's in 2 distinct points, it's greater than 0, and we're showing that 9k squared plus 4k minus 28 is greater than 0.
So you may remember the discriminant off the top of your head, I should hope you do. B squared minus 4ac, and as Triv said, that's going to be greater than 0.
So our B is 3k.
Yeah, it's quite hard to recognise sometimes. So we've got minus 3k squared, that's our B squared.
It is. Then you have minus 4, which is 1, well, times A, which is 1 in this case, times C,
which is this whole thing, which is sometimes what people miss out. They just put the 7.
Yeah.
Because there's no x in front of either of these things, that whole thing is C.
Yeah, so it's 4 times 7 minus k. So, we'll do that in a second.
0.
So now we can do our 9k squared, that's that bit sorted, minus 4 times 1 times 7 minus k, so we'll have
Just like that.
just like that, so we'll have 9k squared minus 28 plus 7k. 7k?
Plus
4k,
4k.
sorry.
It's greater than 0, which is what they got in a different order, I believe. Yeah.
It is.
I think it'd be fine to leave it in that form. You can rearrange it to exactly the order they have it in.
Yeah, let's move stuff around. So now we know that, then we should know what's going to happen. It's going to be an inequality, it is. So it says solve the inequality we have just formed. So there's 2 ways of doing this. You can factorise it, or you can put it into the formula. If you can factorise it, that's way faster, but often it's really difficult.
In this case, because 9, the only products of that is 1 and 9 and 3 and 3.
So there's not too many things to try there. So you could do it.
And 28, you can have 1 and 28, 2 and 14, and 4 and 8. So it's not that many things to try.
No.
And it is, in fact, the 1 and 9 thing. I'll have to think it through for a second. I think it's
14 on that side.
wrong around.
Yeah, I'll put it on the side of the 9. That's 2 and minus 14. Yeah, that's sometimes really hard to notice.
This is
And
K.
there's into, yeah, K's.
It's K instead of X.
And you can check it by expanding.
Minus 14 plus 18K is going to get you 4K, and that's going to give you your minus 28.
But sometimes that's really difficult to do.
It is. And we haven't finished the question yet either. So now we've got, that's just 1K.
Yeah,
Just
so it would
got
be
K.
minus 2.
K equals minus 2.
And maybe K equals
49.
Yeah, because it's a thing.
But it's greater than it, and a positive squared. So it's greater than, when it's greater than one, less than the other.
Yeah.
So K has to be less than minus 2, and k has to be greater than 14/9, and that's the end of the question.
Sometimes it's simple. It's a little bit easier to think about it if you draw a mini sort of curve. It doesn't really matter what it looks like, but this is okay. And when it asks you when it's greater than 0, you've got to think about these two bits here.
Yeah.
So there will be two separate statements.
Yeah, and that's how you think of it. If it's less than, it's in between the two values, so k is greater than 1 and less than the other.
Yeah, and that's when you'll have your double-pronged answer. You could also do it by putting it into the quadratic formula.
Yep. So minus b plus
To
or
do that.
minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a, which is quite a large little formula there. But sometimes if there's 9 this could be greater than a 9, this could be, or it could just be something more awkward like 12, and you can have 1 and 12 and 3 and 4 and 6 and 2, and that's just the start. So if this has lots of factors as well, by trial and error, you're going to take a long time to try and factorise it like
this may be faster.
And as you know, that will give you two values for k,
and the two values will be
the same as
the
that.
same as that. So I won't go through it now, but you can use the formula and hopefully you do know how to do that. If you don't, we've got a video on it so you can check that out.
Yeah. And that's it for this particular paper. So if you have any more questions on this paper, please feel free to message us on Facebook or leave a comment.
Yeah, until then, I'll probably just consider a few more papers for you.
Yep, let's do that.
Alright.